You ever walked into a doctor's office or somebody's house and saw a fish tank with bright, beautiful tropical fish in there and said to yourself, I'd really like to have one of those, but I have absolutely no idea on how to set it up. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about tropical fish care. It's not as hard as you may think. I'm going to walk you through the initial setup, the fish selection process, and maintaining your tank. And I'll start off by initially setting up your tank. Now, when you initially set up your tank, you're going to want to make sure that you keep it away from doors and windows at all possible, because the light that comes in can affect your algae growth and your water temperature. Another thing you're going to want to keep in mind is your water weight. Now, according to Gregory Scommel, who wrote the book Freshwater Aquariums, Your Happy Healthy Pet, it says that water weighs about 8.4 pounds per gallon. So, I have a 135-gallon tank. That adds up to be about a half a ton. So you're going to want to make sure you have it in a permanent spot. You're not going to be want to changing water, taking water out of a tank, and moving a tank to a different spot to your house. So make sure you select the spot you want to keep it in. Also, you're going to want to decorate your tank. You want to get rocks, gravel, plants, wood, anything as you can create a natural environment for your fish to live in. And then you're going to have to fill your tank with water. After you fill your tank with water, you're going to want to take it through the nitrogen cycle. This is a cycle in a nutshell that you want to make sure basically it takes fish waste and it turns it from ammonia into the good bacteria, and it basically does what nature does naturally, and that's the environment that you keep them in. It's a very complex process. You'll want to do more research on it on your own. And also, you're going to want to make sure that the water sits for 24 hours. This will stabilize the temperature in your tank before you can put the fish in it. So I've told you how to initially set up your tank. I'm going to move on to the fun part, which is choosing the fish. There's several different types. There's community fish, which are your mollies, platies, danios, tetras. They're the ones that can live peacefully all together. And then there's your aggressive species, which are your cichlids. There's several different types. The two most well-known are the Africans, which I keep. And then there's the South American or New World, which grow larger. And these fish are all aggressive territorial fish. Another type of aggressive fish is the Oscar. These get very large, and if you want to keep more than one of them, you're going to have a tank about this size right here. They're very intelligent, but like I said, they're very large and they're very aggressive. And the final type of fish I'll bring you through are your puffer fish, and I have one of those. I have one in my other room. His name is Klaus. I'm very happy with him. They're cool fish to have, but they're also very difficult to keep. They're very temperamental, and they're also notorious fin nippers. So I've walked you through now a couple of the different types of fish that you can keep. I'm going to bring you through, in my opinion, the most important part, which is maintaining your tank. Now, according to Mick Watson, who wrote the book All About Aquariums, he says you should do about a 10% water change every week. In my opinion, I would do a 20 to 25%. This keeps your water quality a little bit better, keeps it clear, keeps the bad bacteria out, and so on. Mick Watson also stated that when you're cleaning your water and doing your water changes, to make sure you stir around your gravel. This breaks up the gas traps that are built up underneath the gravel. So you're stirring it up and getting it around so those gases aren't building up. Also, you're going to want to make sure you clean your filter. When you clean your filter, make sure you do it with water from the aquarium, so you're not going and rinsing off all the good bacteria that your filter is keeping. This is important to do about once a month if you have a larger, or I'm sorry, once every 6 months if you have a larger canister filter like I keep. Otherwise, if you have a smaller one, you can change it about once a month. And there's good directions normally on the back of the filters that you buy at the pet store on how to do that. So, now that I've talked to you about how to properly maintain your tank, I'm going to conclude. I've told you about how to initially set up your tank, how to select your fish, the fun part, and how to properly maintain your tank. So now that you have a better idea about how to properly care for tropical fish, you can go into that doctor's office or house and say, wow, that's a big aquarium. Those are beautiful fish you have. I'd like to keep one. I think I'll start it. Thanks.